I think it's Mitchell Trubisky. And Kay, I think it's Mitchell Trubisky not because of him versus Nick Foles, but it's Mitchell Trubisky at the precipice of his career. This is a situation where he is the number 2 overall pick. The 5th-year option was do we want him? Do we want to give him a new contract? What do we want to do? The Bears said, let's roll the dice and see how this year plays out. Let's go out and get Nick Foles. Now, the last 2 quarterbacks to have that happen to, really, that were high profile, were Jameis and Mariota. They both went into last season saying, let's see how it plays out and see if I can get that big deal. Jameis is now a backup with the Saints. Mariota is now a backup with the Raiders. Don't think this can't be the future for Mitchell Trubisky if things don't go his way this season. I look at Trubisky as one of these players that coming out of the draft, everyone said there's a huge upside to this player. And of course, he was taken before both Mahomes and Watson. I don't want that to be the complete description of his career. I don't want that to be what we attribute to him when he's done and long and retired 10 years from now. Mitchell Trubisky can change everything this season. Go beat Nick Foles, go lead the Bears to the playoffs, go win a playoff game, and the job is yours. They want to pay Mitchell Trubisky. They want him to be there. The fans want it to work out. Got all the talent in the world on that roster. One of the best offensive coaches in football. I look at Trubisky. Now is the time.
There's a sentiment amongst Bear fans that says, he's Mitch, but he's our Mitch. Let us love you. And it's a big uphill climb right now, as we know, Peter. A different type of burden for me, totally, than Trubisky. Matthew Stafford, the Lions. We joke on this show, well, it's August, so we're hyping Stafford and the Lions. And this is a tricky thing because you respect so much the way he handles himself on the field and off the field. And yet, I really do think at this point the Carmelo Anthony comparisons are apt because it's an unbelievably talented guy who doesn't have the resume of accomplishments to show for it. And I would just go back to the draft, way back to the draft. The Detroit Lions go 0-16. They gave any player on the board and they took the #1 pick from Georgia. And I remember that day, he said, winning cures everything. We were 0-16, we did it, but winning cures everything. That says 2009 on the screen. It's 2020. Matt Stafford has not won a playoff game. Blake Bortles has won a playoff game. Brock Osweiler has. TJ Yates has won a playoff game. Tim Tebow has won a playoff game. And it gets really cloudy with Matt Stafford because there's an army of apologists who say they never set him up right and coordinator this and coach this and weapons this. And then there's people who are saying, okay, it's been 12 years. At what point do we actually get to this thing? And you look at Matt, it's more than Stafford. It's Detroit. It's so many great players with Calvin, Barry. What do they have to show for it? Great careers. Stafford, same deal. And if this thing keeps trending this way, he's going to end his career as the all-time leading this and all-time leading that for the Lions. And he never won a playoff game. It's just right now we're going to pick division winners this year, in the next couple of weeks. Is anybody sitting here saying, Lions? You don't do it because Lions. Too many coaches, too many first-round picks, too many quarterbacks, too much scar tissue. And Matt is right. Winning cures everything. The coolest story in the entire NFC this year would be the Detroit Lions and Matt Patricia and Matt Stafford making a playoff run. But it hasn't happened before any of us were born, and it's tough to really believe in it. Pull for it, yes, but he's got to make us believe in it.
Well said, man. Passionate take, and you know me, being a guy that played there, I feel you. Every word of that is true. For me, I'm looking at the Green Bay Packers, and I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers. And I know you're saying, well, Nate, really? Does he have a burden? He's already won a Super Bowl. But if we all think that Aaron Rodgers is as great as we say he is, what do you think he thinks of himself? He knows that he's a multiple Super Bowl type quarterback. He knows that he's still one of the best QBs in the business. And with everything that happened last year, forget about the 49ers games. Let's talk about the season. The season, they were 13-3, undefeated in the NFC North. They get to the playoffs. Matt LaFleur, first-year head coach, all the conversation and the talk about him not being able to have chemistry with Aaron Rodgers, and they can't get on the same page. And is Aaron Rodgers going to run all over him? He ran Mike McCarthy out of town. All of these things, they still were successful. So now you lead us into this season where they should be addressing these other positions, and I know we talked about it to the point where we're all exhausted. But they didn't address other positions. Two of their best positions on the team, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones. They go quarterback and running back. Quite a shocker, but who cares? Even scratch that. I feel like there's a burden and there's a pressure that Aaron Rodgers has never felt before. As much as we're talking about all of these different variables that could change the Packers season, Aaron Rodgers has never played in front of a guy that was drafted there to snatch his position. Them getting Jordan Love, that's a big sign. I know there's been individuals that they've drafted. I know there's been guys on that roster, whether they were brought there through free agency or they were homegrown underneath the Packers system. I feel like this guy, Jordan Love, and Aaron Rodgers now being the man, making all of that money, this is a different type of pressure. And we don't know. I know what Aaron Rodgers is like in the fourth quarter. Dominant. I know the type of pressure that he feels when he needs to throw a Hail Mary. None. I know how he looks at himself in the mirror. He sees a lion. He's a beast. He knows that he can compete with the best of the best. But we all know, whether it's the corporate world, whether it's sports, when you have somebody that is behind you that you know can possibly do your job, and he's cheaper, that's a different type of pressure. So I'm curious. I'm curious to see what he does this season. Because knowing Aaron Rodgers the way I know him, he's going to say the right things, and he's going to play his butt off. But is he going to crumble at some point? Is he going to start feeling that breath of Jordan Love breathing down him, down his neck, and all of a sudden he starts to second guess his decision? He gets the happy feet in the pocket, he starts throwing passes that he wouldn't typically throw? I don't know. That's why I love this question. What is Aaron Rodgers going to do this year with a guy that could possibly replace him? It's a big deal.